Yeah, welcome back again to my channels. Remember to subscribe, remember to like, and remember to share. Thank you for joining once again. So I'll be touching briefly on the hey, why do we really need to analyze behavior? Human behavior is something that is subject to change and is not constant. And congenitive human behavior is something that can be structural, while the not congenitive human behavior is something that might not be structural. When I talk about the cognitive behavior, what I simply means is that typically it is stated biologically that when you have a child at 3 months or 4 months, the child should hold their head. By 6 months, probably the child should sit. By 7 months, the child should be able to crawl. 8 months, 9 months. Why some children do prettier, better. Some are fast, some are slow, but there range to which the child should develop. In other words, there is a structural pattern that children should develop. That's the typical structure for a child. But then there are children that does not follow this pattern. So that is why most times applied behavioral analysis comes to play, or psychology, to explain why behavior must be analyzed. And so what is ABA? He said behavioral analysis is a natural science approach to the prediction, control, and understanding of behavior. ABA as devoted to the understanding and improvement of human behavior. So it has to do with it's a natural science that has to do with the prediction, the control, and understanding of how humans tend to behave. So the primary focus of ABA and why it is being different from other science has to do with the focus, the methodology, and the approach and scope in which this subject or the science is being practiced. We have types of scientific investigation. We have the description, which is more like observation. For instance, if I should go to a client house, I will be able to describe the client's behavior by observation. When I sat down with this client, let me just give an illustration. I visit a client, and while sitting down, I saw let me assume the client's name is Tom. Tom began to speak, turning around. After that, Tom screamed, Tom jumped. So, in other words, what I'm doing is observation. And the word, the scientific description, when I want to say observation, that is, I'm describing what I've seen based on observation. So, Tom is shouting or yelling or steaming. Tom is jumping. That is observation. So another approach is prediction. That is statement of hypothesis. Where you have your empirical analysis, what will you be able to say? The frequency of this behavior. The term steam or yen or shout, just like every regular child, because I cannot make a prediction if I have not discovered the frequency. I cannot just conclude that a child is on the spectrum because I was able to observe that child once. I cannot just give a child diagnosis or conclude about that child because the child behaved in a not typical way just once or twice. So therefore, there's room for prediction. How often does Tom hear? Is it based on a particular environment, or if you take Tom to another environment, the behavior still continues? Is it a pattern? What is the frequency? What is the duration? So I'm able to write that those are the things we call prediction. You want to predict. Mathematics students will always say the HO and the H1. HO will agree, HO will not agree, H1 might agree. Might say dash is alternative this and that is alternative that. In other words, so you want to debate, because observation is a tentative statement. You just observe, or rather assumed. So now you predict. You want to predict, but you have to make sure that the frequency is there also. So after prediction, then you are able to develop a pattern called the control. How do we control this behavior? How do we modify this behavior? How do we redirect this behavior? How do we reinforce this behavior? That this child, this client, this student is is what is exhibiting in terms of screaming. Could there be stimuli or things that reinforce that? Or probably the child keep going to the bathroom unnecessarily. Could the closeness of the bathroom to the classroom be an attraction for that child? Should we take the child away to another class that does not have a bathroom so that the child can extinguish, that behavior can be expelled? So you are going to create what we call a control. So behavior and environment. I would always say behavior most often does not exist in isolation, but rather behavior is a function of environment. Typically, people behave based on where they have come from. And when we're talking about environment, we're not just talking about the physical environment. We are talking about things that people has been able to tap from their environment. There are so many things. Some of us we speak some language consciously and unconsciously based on we have been able to pick those things from the environment. I remember a time that there's this friend of mine, there's this slogan, she's always like a slang, she always use while we're in the university. And one day I wanted to speak to somebody, I said that thing and I was so shocked. You know, immediately I had to tap my mother. Oh, where did I get this from? I just contacted it from somebody. She's close to me. So there's what called direct and indirect learning. So therefore, in the environment that the child is, the child can contact one or two things from the environment. I can tell you most of these things they contact is always mostly indirectly because the truth is that it is not what you want to teach them that they pick. So indirect exposure is extreme and the effect is very, very large. And the effect is, very fast because the child tend to pick on those behavior. So we have two type of behavior. We have the responded behavior and we have the operant behavior. So from the word responded, you look at the word responding, responding. So analytically, it simply means the child is responding to stimuli, is on learn and no consequence. So when we talk about respond behavior, like the way I'm talking now, you talk because of the reflex, my motor skills are working. So those are respond behavior. You could blink your eyes naturally. Those are responded behavior. And I can tell you, children already, their head, they could have head control right from inside the stomach. It's not when they are born, they start learning how to have head control. There are so many things children do not really learn. Children do not learn how to, they don't learn how to, most children, if you talk about swimming, when they come, because inside the stomach, where they are inside the womb is water, is fluid. So when you quickly take them back into the water, they just flow with it. So, and it is also established that children's baby eat inside the stomach. They learn swallowing. So there are so many things naturally that a typical child or a child that is well developed, you know, does not need to learn a whole lot of things. In fact, you don't need to teach a child that is properly developed anything. When it comes to walking, crawling, standing, they just do them effortlessly. You don't need to show them. They know it. They figure it out. Just leave them on the ground. They are going to discover what it is. They will even show you the way to go about it. Those are respondent behavior. They respond based on stimuli. The reflexes are there. They respond to it. So we have what we call the operant behavior. This operant behavior are behavior due to consequences, due to training. For instance, potty training. You have to train a child to potty train. And when that child understood that there is consequence, if I don't use the potty or go to the toilet, mom is going to punish me, send me to my room, or mom might not give me my favorite toy, or mom might not take me to my to the locations or places that I like to go. then that is behavior due to operant. Is what we call operant behavior. Is behavior due to consequence. So please like my channels, follow my channels. I will be showing more educational content on this very page. And if you also want to look at lifestyle and general gist, you can follow my other channels and also look out for my other channels on Facebook. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for joining us today once again. Kindly subscribe, and I will see you in a little while more. Bye.